Show, all the top tunes up.
Hey, Mulligan.
What do you do? I don't know.
We give them just what they get in the big house.
It's the Joey and Rory Show, brought to you each week by Tirelessly Radio, with Wynn Varble, Marcy Gary, Heidi Feek, Bradley Walker, and me.
He's here? All right, folks, we can get this thing started. We have a very special show for you this week. Please welcome Joey, Rory, and Whispering Bill Anderson.
I sat up all night by the phone, wondering when he'd come home, till I finally gave up and went on up to bed. And he came in about 3:30, tiptoeing quite as he could be. I almost went off, but a voice inside my head, it said,
"Whisper, Joey. You don't have to yell." He was probably a little hungover, couldn't you tell? If you want to make your point and really get through, you don't have to raise your voice, just do what I do. Whisper.
She came home today from the grocery store with bags and boxes from the ceiling to the floor, and when I started unloading, there wasn't any food inside. She must have bought 10 pairs of shoes, I guess, 2 handbags and a brand new dress. I could have exploded and started a big old fight that lasted all night.
Just whisper, Rory. You don't have to yell. She probably got it all at a half-price sale. If you want to make your point and really get through, don't raise your voice, just do what I do. Whisper. It's hard to control your emotions sometimes
When I've got my side,
and I've got mine.
Listen, guys, I've told you twice. Pay attention. I'm giving you some good advice.
whisper, Bill. You don't have to yell.
He is whispering, honey.
How can you tell?
Look, if you want to make your point and really get through, don't raise your voice, just do what we do. Whisper.
Honey, it was really mean of you to buy all that stuff.
Well, it was really mean of you not to come home on time.
See how much farther you get when you just whisper?
What'd you say, Bill? I can't hear you.
Yeah, what'd you say? I didn't hear you very well.
Bill, you still there?
Whispering Bill.
I said just whisper! Don't go away. Joey and Rory will be right back. You know, one of my favorite things to do as I travel around the country is to find good restaurants. And what I really like is home cooking. And there's no better home cooking than a little restaurant right down the road called Marcy Joes. While I'm sipping on my Marcy Joes coffee, let's go in and see what Marcy and Joey are cooking up for us.
Y'all come on in and sit wherever you want.
Well, here at Marcy Joes, we are always having some wonderful customers come through here, not only because they're just great and excited to have our food, but how generous they are and their gifts that they bring here. It's just unreal.
It is. I love when everybody comes from all over, and they're always bringing license plates or things they make, and we just try. I mean, we can't, of course, put everything on the walls, but we try to put as much as we can, and I love it because it makes it part of it.
Absolutely. Well, today we have a fellow named Roger here, so I'm going to have him come up. Roger, come on up here, buddy. Roger
Roger.
came to our BIB Buckle Fest and brought Rory and I some really great pictures and signs. And this is one that he has, and I just love the way that it says, today's menu, take it or leave it. That's kind of Marcy Jo's theme, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. It really is.
Well, Roger, tell us where you're from.
I'm from Silo, Oklahoma.
Silo, Oklahoma. And do you make these signs out of just recycled lumber that you have?
Barn wood or fence wood.
Yeah. Well, this is a great sign, and we are going to cherish this and have it hanging on our wall right after the show.
Thank you.
All
That's
right.
great.
Thanks so
Thank
much for
you,
bringing it by.
Roger.
Thanks for
That's
being on the show
great.
today.
I love that.
What a
I love them
sweetheart.
old signs.
I do too. You
them
can't,
are great.
You can't pass them up. So we're making our key lime pie today. I love key lime pie. We go to Key West about once a year, Rory and I do, for songwriters and things
Without
like that.
me?
Well, it's because you won't get on a plane.
Well, you can take the bus.
Oh, it's like a 19-hour drive.
That's okay.
Well, we're gonna make this pie. It's so simple. I love how simple this recipe is. We're just gonna start with a graham cracker crust crumb once again.
Yep.
As we kind of showed on a couple episodes
Right,
ago.
you just take a whole bunch of graham crackers, stick them in a blender, blend them up really, really fine, add some sugar and butter, and just kind of pat it in there, and then stick it in your oven at 350 for what, 15, 20 minutes, till it gets brown. And you want to, on a key lime pie, you want to put it in a shallow pan, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, you have some of the deeper pie crusts or,
Right,
or pie,
the pie pans,
shells.
yeah.
But this one you want to have a shallow one so that the key lime pie just sets up nice and evenly
Right,
on that.
right.
Our 3 ingredients are so simple. You're going to take a can of sweetened condensed milk.
Here, I got this.
Thank you. And then there is actually key lime pie juice. So it's basically lime juice, but it's fancy.
Yeah.
And we're gonna add, I think it's a half a cup. Go ahead and grab that in here, Marcy. Half a cup of key lime pie juice, and then 3 egg yolks. And literally, that is all. That is all that is
Isn't
in
that
here.
great?
Yep. We're gonna mix this up really good, incorporate everything. Once you get that mixed up, you're gonna pour it into your pie shell.
It's super easy.
It's so simple, absolutely.
and it smells so good.
Why don't you show us what we have, the end result here, Mars?
Alrighty.
Finish putting this in here. Then after you pour this in your pie shell, you're gonna put it in the refrigerator. Actually, you're gonna
great?
bake it in the oven at
Yes.
350 for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, you're gonna bake it for about 15 minutes
Super,
in your
super
oven
fast.
at 350. And then we also do a homemade topping, like a whipped topping.
Absolutely.
And so once we cut it here at the restaurant and we serve it, we like to add some of our whipped topping on top of it, just to add a little bit to it. It makes it really good.
Love key
Oh, let me
lime
get a
pie.
plate.
Yeah.
So who we got tasting today, Joe?
Well, you know Julie Zamboldi.
Yes.
She heads up our fan club.
Yep.
And she has a good friend who now has become a good friend of ours. Her name's Naomi. Naomi, come on up here.
Hi.
Come say hello to the world. You doing all right today?
Doing very well.
Good. Would you like a little topping on that?
Sure, that looks good.
Add a little
Isn't that
more sin
great?
to the to the pile. And we love this dessert. It's so simple, like we said. And how's it taste?
And it's great for the
Is it good?
summer, too. It's a
It
great
really is.
summer dessert.
Yeah. And you have your boys here, your husband and your son?
Aw.
Good. Well,
That's
I'm sure
great.
they'll enjoy having a little sample of that too. Thank you. All right.
Thanks
for
for
joining
coming.
us. Well, there you have it, folks. That's our key lime pie down here at Marcy Joes, where we're changing lives.
One bite at a time.
This next song was originally made famous by Marie Osmond in 1973 and sung by Joey as a little girl. Please welcome her now performing Paper Roses.
I realize the way your eyes deceive me with tender looks that I mistook for love. So take away those flowers that you gave me and send the kind that you remind me of. Paper roses, paper roses. Oh, how real those roses that you would be a perfect lover. You seem so full of sweetness at the start, but like a big red rose that's made of paper, there isn't any sweetness in your heart. Paper roses, paper roses. Oh, how real those roses seem to be. But they're only imitation, like your imitation love for me.
Up next, we've got an amazing songwriter, a great singer, and an all-around good fella. It's Wynn Varble.
Me and my buddy Ronnie Henson sitting on his front porch the other day. He lives right there in town. And this preacher come by. We got a new preacher in town. He come riding his bicycle down the road, and there's a little old boy pulling a lawnmower. And the preacher said, "Man, that's a good-looking lawnmower you got there, son." The boy said, "That's a good-looking bicycle you got there, preacher." He said, "I'll tell you what, I'll swap you this bicycle for that lawnmower." The boy said, "All right, you got a deal." Well, yesterday we was sitting out there, and that preacher was pulling that rope and pulling that rope, trying to crank that lawnmower. Here come that little old boy riding on that bicycle. And the preacher said, "I tell you, son, I believe you got me on this lawnmower." Said, "This thing won't crank." The boy said, "Preacher, you got to cuss at that lawnmower to get it to crank." The preacher said, "Son, I've been serving the Lord for 30 years. I done forgot how to cuss." The little boy said, "You keep pulling that rope, it'll come back to you."
You go from rags to riches, farm to fame, from washing dishes to the whole world knows your name. They'll stand in the spotlight till the light goes dim, and it's farm to fame, to farm again.
June 1st this year, we had our 5th annual BIB Buckle Fest, and what a day it was. We'd been busy getting the farm ready for weeks, and this year it was bigger than ever. We had food vendors and craft booths, merchandise tables, Marcy Joes desserts, and the Crosley radio folks even drove down from Louisville to be a part of it with us. There were fun games to play, neat things to see, and lots of great music to hear. Austin Cunningham, the Patterson Family, James Dean Hicks, Ruby Lovett, Alvarado Roadshow, and many other entertainers performed. The event was off to a great start. Now, there were lots of clouds in the sky, and the weatherman was calling for a chance of rain, so at the last minute, some good friends of ours showed up and spent the morning building a tin roof over the stage just in case. They actually were still building it when people were coming in and finding their seats. And then, just like that, the sky let loose and the rain came, and came, and came. It drenched everything and knocked out the big sound system. And at first we thought we were going to have to shut the festival down and send everyone home. But we soon realized that most people wanted to stay, no matter what. They were going to have a good time, whether it rained or not. It's amazing how sometimes things that turn out to be what you thought was a disaster makes a special memory that you'll probably never, ever forget. And about an hour later, the rain stopped and the fun started again. Larry Cordell, Carl Jackson, and Jerry Sally put on a heck of a show in the tent, and after them, Mr. Bill Anderson played an amazing set.
Sense enough to get in out of the rain. I got to learn to say I got the taxi.
And then it was our turn.
It's the Joey and Rory Show! This time live from the tent in Technicolor, Joey, and then Rory.
Now I have to admit, even though things didn't go like we thought they would, this was our favorite Bib and Buckle Fest ever. There's just something about how when things seem to go wrong, God actually just had a better plan in mind. The rest of the evening was pretty magical. We sang and told stories until way after dark. And when the concert was over and everyone had gone home, we just sat out on the field and said a prayer of thanks for the rain, for the friends, and for the special day we all got to be part of.
It wouldn't be a complete show without an inspirational song. Here they are performing another number from their new album, Inspired.
The night before I turned 16, I knew better than to dream of waking up to shiny chrome and steel. 'Cause Dad had made it clear that we weren't like the neighbors down the street who bought their son a brand new set of wheels. When morning came, I was shocked. Looked out in the drive and saw a red ribbon wrapped round Daddy's old blue Ford. Well, I thought, he must be kidding me. But when he handed me the keys, he proudly smiled and said, son, she's all yours. It'll get you where you're going. It'll take you where you need to be. You know, down through the years, son, it's been faithful to me. I know it don't look like much. It's old and a little beat up, but there's peace of mind in knowing it'll get you where you're going. Well, at 18, like young men do, took one last glance at my old room. Tears filled Mama's eyes the day I left. Dad didn't have a dime to spare, but he showed me how much he cared when he handed me his Bible and he said, it'll get you where you're going, it'll take you where you need to be. You know, down through the years, son, it's been faithful to me. I know it don't look like much, it's old and a little beat up, but there's peace of mind in knowing it'll get you where you're going. It'll get you where you're going. It'll take you where you need to be. You know, down through the years, son, it's been faithful to me. I know it don't look like much. It's old and a little beat up, but there's peace of mind in knowing it'll get you where you're going. I know it don't look like much. It's old and a little beat up, but there's peace of mind in knowing it'll get you where you're going.
It's sure been nice to have our guest, Mr. Bill Anderson, on the show with us this
Another
week.
dream come true.
Planting the garden and watching it grow and Keeping it country on the radio, that's important to me.
Yes, it is.
That's important to me.
Don't forget about what's most important to you.
I'm Joey.
And I'm Rory. Tune in again next week. Same place, same time.
Join Joey and Rory in the barn where they film their TV show by coming to one of their farmhouse Christmas concerts this November or December. Find out the dates and ticket information by visiting their website, joeyandrory.com. Also, folks, if you're going to be in the Middle Tennessee area, make a stop by Marcy Jo's Millhouse and Bakery. It's only 45 minutes south of Nashville. Visit marcyjoes.com for directions and hours of operation.
Milk House
Media.